All right, guys, happy Friday. One of our clutches is dropping right now, so that's what I want to focus this video on. But some people did ask to see what the parents were of the Ultramel clutch that we had dropped the other day with some of those mystery babies. And this is the dad here. I purchased him from Aussie, I think back in 2021. He was like a $5,000 snake at that point. He was sold to me as an OD Leo Firefly Ultramel het pied. Turns out that he's I'm assuming probably yellow belly, and potentially enchy as well. The story I told yesterday was I produced some snakes that were all white from him last year when I bred some pieds, and I contacted Aussie, and he said, taking a second look at him, he's probably enchy. But then when I asked for the pairing information, there was yellow belly in the mix as well, and some of the babies did test positive for yellow belly in that clutch. So I'm thinking he's probably yellow belly as well. He's a really cool male, very powerful. He's produced some of probably my neatest looking pieds from last year, and definitely some of really amazing Ultramels from last season. I'm curious to see what these ones that came out the other day look like. But he's an awesome snake. He's proven het pied as well. And I have probably 10 snakes that he produced last year that I held back that were pied or Ultramel, and obviously hets as well for the other genetics. So that's the sire to that Ultramel collection. We get him away, and then I'll get out the female. Now Bamboo, which is what the female is, Bamboo Black Pastel Het Ultramel. It's a very neat looking snake. I think, looking back at my records, I think I actually got her from Freedom Breeder a few years back when they were doing like their clearance sale. So that's Bamboo Black Pastel Het Ultramel. So this is the mom to that clutch. Very cool looking snake. Bamboo does a lot in everything. I love Bamboo clowns. Bamboos look awesome in Ultramel. Bamboos just by themselves are kind of one of those crazy, overpowering genes. And this female here is kind of no exception. So she is just a really cool looking snake. I didn't really plan on getting rid of her. I don't know, what the plans will be for her. I'm happy with the clutch that came out so far. I don't know what it's going to take to get her back up to breeding size again, and if I'll need her at that point. But just a 2-gene snake, very, very cool looking. So that's the mom. And now my other Ultramel female looks like she finally laid her clutch. So I'm recording this Thursday night because that's when she laid the egg. I came down here and saw that she was sitting on them, and I think she's probably done laying them. So I want to pull those off of there. I don't want to leave them overnight because they will definitely get stuck together if they are together at this point, and I don't want to deal with that. So this is clutch 7, and this is actually that same sire. So it's going to be that male, the OD Leopard Firefly, yellow belly, possibly enchy, Ultramel het pied male, and this female is just a visual Ultramel. So this clutch is going to be all visual Ultramels. It doesn't look like there are a ton of eggs in here, or a ton of good eggs, which is not awesome. Oh man, it's like all slugs. It looks like there's 2 good eggs in here. That is not good. Hopefully these 2 eggs are okay. That is definitely not the clutch I was looking for. So let's see. Let me make sure there's nothing left in her. Now, I don't remember precisely how many. I don't think they had a lot of locks, which I would assume was the problem here. And so let me get those put away. So she's just a normal, normal Ultramel, just a regular old Ultramel. Ultramel is beautiful just by itself, as you can see here. Let me get her put away because she's trying to run. Run. So, obviously, getting a clutch of all slugs basically is continuing my streak of having some bad luck with eggs. We have 6 slugs, which really sucks. So she basically laid 8 eggs, just 6 of them were infertile. Let me throw these away real quick. So we only got 2 eggs out of her, which, isn't great. They're big eggs, so I think hopefully they are healthy. They're stuck together. This one is probably one of the weirdest shaped eggs that I've ever seen. They're both kind of weird. This one's sort of a boob egg, and this one has like a weird head to it. They both look like they're okay, but that really sucks. My troubles with creating Ultramel visual Ultramels are going forward. She was really going to be. I don't know if I don't have any other visual Ultramels females that I was. Well, I have one. I have like one visual Ultramel female that I'm breeding this year, other than her, and she's not even ready yet. And so she was obviously my best chance because she was already breeding and ovulating. Getting 2 eggs out of that really sucks. Now, because that male has so many genes, these eggs, they could be 2, 3, 4 gene snakes, which is great. It's great, especially if they're female. It's great if they prove out to be het pied. At the very least, they're all going to be Ultramel. So, that's at least takes that out of the equation. But that sucks. Having 2 eggs out of that female, when I don't have a bunch of visual Ultramel females, it kind of sucks. There's nothing, sometimes you run into that and it pushes the project backwards, which is why it's always good to have kind of multiples of animals in a project. Excuse me, I got to sneeze. It is allergy season up here. On a side note, I was watching something, and I don't know if you know this, but if you have to sneeze and you look at a bright light, it makes you sneeze. It makes it come out if you're having trouble getting it out. And I was watching a YouTube thing, like one of the doctors, and somebody asked that question, how come if you look at a light, it makes you sneeze? And the doctor was like, what are you talking about? I've never heard of this. It's like, that must be some BS. I was like, I do that all the time if I have to sneeze, I look at a light. Anyways, so I love this Ultramel project I have. That male has been a powerhouse for me. I wouldn't have held back so many snakes from him last year if that wasn't the case. But I don't have a bunch of visual Ultramel females right now. My bamboo pinstripe Ultramel that I produced a couple years back just still isn't locking up with anybody. This female had a bad clutch. That bamboo black pastel head Ultramel, she had 3 Ultramels in there, but again, she's out of the rotation now for probably the rest of the year. I have 2 females that can produce Ultramels, one a visual, one a het, but I still haven't even had locks with them, so it might be a while until I produce more visual Ultramels. Now I have probably 8 females that are pied het Ultramel or double het or Ultramel het pied. That's probably 10 females then that I produced last year, some of which are getting close to breeding size. So this project goes from like 2, maybe 3 snakes to 10 or 15 snakes very fast, probably within the next 6 months. But that's why I haven't had a whole lot of luck purchasing Ultramels, and it wasn't really my focus because I knew that I was able to produce them last year. But that's also why I held back so many. So it's kind of where, when you're strategizing for the future, that you're, holding back what you can and not trying to sell stuff off before you have to. Because in this case, I was sort of banking on this girl having a nice clutch to produce more for me. But if I would have done that and I would have sold a bunch of my holdbacks or not held them back in the first place, then this whole project would have been probably pushed down the road another 1 to 2 years because I wouldn't have had anything to breed. Because I kept so many back last year, again, 10 plus snakes probably, and they're growing at a decent rate. One of them's already over 1,500 grams because she eats so well. It's not going to hurt me as badly. those are all in the UltraPide project as well, so it, you know, pushes that project forward. But this is going to change my potential breeding for those ones I held back, because originally what I had planned was breeding the pied head Ultramel combo females, because they all have 2, 3, or 4 genes in them, to a pinstripe clown het Ultramel male. And obviously I'm guaranteed the het clown in those, I'm guaranteed the het pied, but I have a lower rate because it's head to head Ultramel. To produce Ultramels out of that, I might have to switch up those pairing ideas, because if my rate of hitting visual Ultramels in that is that low, I'm probably going to end up switching out, maybe even trying to purchase a new male, like a ready to breed male that has a bunch of genes in him further, you know, into the season when these females are ready, because I need to really kind of infuse some life back into this project. Because at this point, like, this male I think is tapped out for the foreseeable future. He's just really not locking up with anybody right now. He's still in good body condition, but he's just like, I did too much work last year, I'm not ready to breed. As you can see by this, I'm assuming this clutch was due to him kind of being tapped out. It was at the end of the year. I'm even surprised I got the 6 eggs out of that clutch that hatched earlier this week from that female. So I think I bought the pinstripe clown head Ultramel male ready to breed because I knew that I'd probably need him, but this might change my plans a little bit to the point where I might end up trying to look for a Ultramel male that's close to breeding size or already proven, that has different genes in him, so they'll complement what I have already. So your projects are always gonna evolve. You can't really stick to one certain plan and not think that you're gonna change it, because at the end of the day, these are all living animals. You don't know when they're going to eat. You don't know when they're gonna be ready to breed. You don't know, you know, how big the clutches are gonna be. You don't know if they're gonna pair up. You don't know what sort of clutches you're gonna have. You don't know if they're gonna go bad in the incubator. You don't know if you're gonna get all males or females. You don't know whether or not your odds at hitting those visuals are gonna be good for you. So you kind of just need to go with the flow with this thing, but still have like good backup options. So this sucks. Hopefully these are okay. Once I shut this off and shut the lights off, I'm going to make sure they have veins. Yeah, that sucks, but what are you gonna do? So, not the way I wanted to start off the weekend, but luckily those other snakes that hatched are all healthy. Once they actually all come out of the eggs, I'll get more photos of them up, and then we'll see you guys on Monday.